And good morning. Welcome to another iteration of the South Dade Chamber of Commerce Shout Out. Today, we have a tremendous guest with us. With everything that's going on, I don't know if you can notice, but we have the a separation here. My phone is going off. uh, we have separation here with everything that's going on with the. Yeah, just press that. Take it out of the room. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Uh, Wow. So this is the way it goes when things are not properly set up. And folks, today, this morning, that's my fault. We actually have two segments, two parts of the show today. But again, let's get back. This morning, we have Dr. Francisco A. Medina-Mejia, and
Yes.
he is with us now from Baptist Health. I am really, really excited to be here with him and to have him share his experience and his medical knowledge. I'm going to ask him to tell us a little bit about yourself and how
Okay.
you ended up here in South Florida.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm so glad to be here with you. My story is very long, but I'll shorten it up. I did my studies in New York City, and then I did my fellowship in Kansas City, specialized in pediatric emergency. And I got offered a job here at Miami Children's Hospital. In that time, that it was now it's called Nicholas Children's Hospital. And so I moved to Miami without knowing anything. But my wife, when she came with me and she saw the palm trees and the weather, she said, "Listen, I'm a tropical girl, so let's move to Miami." We were in Kansas City, so you understand the feeling. And from there, I got the opportunity to start the pediatric emergency programs at Baptist and then later at Homestead. So I've been with Baptist since 1991. So that's quite a long time ago. And I have had the opportunity to work with different communities in Dade County. And I'm glad to be here trying to help a little bit South Dade.
So you kind of went through something really quick that I want to bring back and focus on. Okay, you said that you are the founder of the and medical director of the pediatric emergency department. Tell me
Yeah,
about that.
yes, that's correct. I remember with Mr. Brian Keeley meeting that was in 1990, and I told him I believe that pediatric emergency should not be limited to only the children's hospitals, but also community hospitals, because a lot of the kids end up in the emergencies of community hospitals. So I believe that that's the way to go, and he understood that, and he was in the same with the same impression. So they offered me to start the pediatric emergency at Baptist in 1991. That's when I started the pediatric emergency program, and I was in charge of that program up to 2011, and in from 2006 I took over the program at Homestead Pediatric Emergency. So I was the founder also of the pediatric emergency program at Homestead Hospital. So
So, and that brings us really to the hottest topic of the day, of the week, of the month, and quite frankly, of last year. So, COVID-19 is upon us. There have been all kinds of myths about children can't get sick. If they do get sick, they're not going to die. What advice do you have for parents?
well, the basic advice and the most important is hygiene. I just want to reemphasize that the kids learn from the parents. You know, all the advice the parents give them to the kids, they learn. And remember, in the 90s about the seatbelts, that it was emphasized that you had to put your seatbelt. So the kids learned that they had to put their seatbelt when they are in the car, and that is an automatic reaction now. My grandkids now, when they get into the car, the first thing they say, "Where's the seatbelt? I need to put my seatbelt." So the same thing happens with hygiene, washing your hands. How frequently do you wash them? That's going to help you spread not only COVID but any other infection that you might get. Keep your distance. If you have a runny nose or you have a cold or you have a fever, you better not go to school because most likely you're going to spread this. and some of the kids might be too close to you, and they might get the illness. The other things they have to do, and now with the COVID, is the keeping the mask clean. The you don't want to be what if you're wearing a mask, you want to be sure that you're not putting the mask in the wrong place, or dropping it in the floor, or using the mask for a month. Try to play the logical thing that you see the mask even smells bad because you might have it for too long of a time. So it's good to change your mask and have a good hygiene with this. I think keep your places where you're working clean, the desk and all that area, everything, your supplies, keep them clean. It's just basic hygiene that it will avoid you from getting other illnesses, not only COVID, but other infections that you could get in the school. We wear masks in the emergency all the time because a lot of the kids who come in, now that we're in this time, it's probably 80 to 90% are positive for COVID. So even if they come with a broken arm, we test them for COVID if it's necessary to do some sort of manipulation that we need to fix the bone or send it to another center. And a lot of these kids who don't have any symptoms of illnesses, they're positive for COVID. So keep an eye on that. I think that's a basic principle.
So and I don't want to get into politics and things here. We could talk just about the facts. So right now we have this divider here, and quite frankly, folks, this divider is not to protect Dr. Medina from me. I'm fully vaccinated, but he works with medical people in the hospital on a regular basis. This divider is to protect me, from what he could possibly bring. But the other thing that I need people to think about, when you're sending your kids to school on a regular basis, the beginning of school, each school year, you have an immunization process that you have to go through. And no one has a problem with following that immunization process. Here are the shots that you have to get before you can start school. But now we're saying, okay, here's a shot that we know the efficacy for kids is what, 100%?
Yes.
And now we're saying, no, we don't want you to do that. Well, I don't understand the difference.
Yes. And it's common that in the summer, a lot of the kids go to the primary care doctor to find out if they're up to date with their vaccines, if they're ready for sports. They need to have their sports physical. And that's really important. And this year should not change. Everything should be like that. Everybody should go and check with their primary care, especially the kids who have some underlying illness. And we see some kids who might have diabetes type 2, asthmatics, kids who have some sort of seizure problems that they need definitely to be checked before they go back to school. So I emphasize that the primary care contact with a primary care physician should be absolutely important to keep you safe before you go to school. The point is safe before you go to school to stay safe when you're in school. That's really the message that all of us we should be giving. I hope not only the parents but also some of the community physicians and healthcare providers keep spreading the message, because we need more people involved in spreading the good message of what to do. So we need more physicians, more nurses, more people involved in hygiene that keep spreading the message. The message will get there, but we have to keep going.
I think the message can also be spread by youngsters. I know that there are youngsters that have siblings that have said, hey, you know what, I'm going to wear this mask because I don't want to take or bring anything home to my family.
Yeah.
And to me, that's an incredible message. We in the ecological world, I have the youth program, Junior Scientists in the Sea. We have determined that the best vehicle for outreach are these youngsters, because when they learn something, they're going to talk about it. They're going to show you what they learned. They're going to explain why they think it's important.
Yeah.
And if we as an adult cannot learn from what these youngsters are saying to us, then maybe we need to be looking at ourselves.
Yes, yes, I know. And not all of us, we learn when we were young all these basic principles. Some of us, we didn't learn a lot. We learned them by our mistakes. But the ideal situation is prevention, preventing from making mistakes. That's the whole point. We want to prevent, and if it's coming from young, it's coming from the teachers, it's coming from everybody. The prevention is the key. So I really admire that young people are getting involved in prevention. We don't need to be doctors to be preventions. We just, it's just basic principles. So uh, wash your hands frequently. Wash your hands frequently. We have seen that a lot of the common viruses that we see in this time of the year have dropped because a lot of the kids have been washing their hands. A lot of the kids have been doing the right thing. So we want to keep that curve low, and so and that will avoid from other illnesses that show up in the September, October, when all the kids go back to school. We won't have another spike of other illnesses on top of the COVID, because right now the emergencies are getting so busy, and it's going to get overwhelmed when we get all these illnesses coming at the same time, and we don't know which one is which. It could be a cold, it could be COVID, could be whatever other illnesses. So that's a very important point.
So I have to chuckle because I remember growing up, if I had the slightest cough or I pretended to have a cough, my mom would say, "Go to school anyway." So how long do you think it's going to be before the kids realize, okay, if I cough a little bit, mom's going to keep me home?
Yeah, there's always some kids who are really smart to do that. And but take your homeworks. That's what I told my granddaughter. Listen, bring your homeworks and do your homeworks, and you can't escape the class. You have to be doing something at home, not watching TV or not playing with Nintendo or any of those games. Just keep doing the teaching year. Unfortunately, to be, in my personal opinion, I think a lot of kids lost some of the learning, processes that happened during the last year. So we don't need to have another year that we lose more of the education. So we need to go back to normal,
Yeah.
and try to get the education back, that won't affect the rest of the generations.
I
There-
I
yeah,
I,
no,
I
yeah.
agree. Socialization is absolutely important. The kids need to be able to be with other kids their ages and share their ideas, and that's how they grow. That's how they'll become the mature adults that they are. But in
Yeah.
order for that to happen, they need to go back to school safely.
Yes.
They need to have physicals, regular checkups, and things like that. That could possibly, I mean, quite frankly, it's risk management.
Mhm.
It's just risk management that has to do with your health.
Yes.
And so I'm excited. I'm very happy that you came, to at least make me know that I'm thinking properly, but also to tell our members and whoever else is watching the show, give them a little bit of advice on how to make sure we keep control of this so we can become America again.
Yes. I just want to end up. Uh, I hope some adolescents listen to this message to all over, because we do see a lot of adolescents having stress and depression due to all this changes in the society world. And but please listen to us. Don't feel that this is going to be forever. This is going to change. So you might go to a normal socialization soon, and you're going to go back to your games. You're going to go back to your friends, and don't feel depressed. We don't like to see you depressed. We don't like to see you coming to the emergency with depression and suicidal things that we're seeing right now. A lot of kids, adolescents coming in. So please think that this is just temporary. This is not going to be forever. This is going to get better.
Dr. Medina-Mejia, really, I thank you so much for being here with us today. I look forward to the times that we'll be able to go in and out of Baptist and not worry about masks or any of this. But it's also great to know that you're there. For those who have kids, I have grandkids, to know that they have someone with your skill set taking care of them. We really do appreciate you.
Thank you very much. And thank you for the opportunity. And we'll get better, community. We'll get better. We're going to get better.